I would like to welcome you all in the lecture series of Python programming. In this video, we'll be learning about loops. What is the significance of loops in Python programming? So first of all, we'll understand loop is a flow control statement. In Python programming, the main duty of the loop are to control the structure. And if you want to execute a block like several number of times until the condition is satisfied, you need to have loops. Loops are very important for like automatic repetitive task, then processing the data, then iteration process like different sequences. For example, different type of data type. If you want to operate a different data type like a list, tuple, string, if you want to have like replication, we require loops. Also, you know that Python supports two important loops such as for loop and while loop. So in this session, we are going to discuss how to use for loop and while loop in Python programming. So moving on to the further discussion. First of all, we'll talk about the importance of for loop. You know that if you want to have like iterative information, if you want to have like a repetition of a block several number of times, we require for loop, like iterative over a sequence. And execute the blocks for several number of times based on the sequence. Like if I want to print first 100 odd numbers, you can go for like for loop. Also, the for loop is used to know in advance how many times you want to execute the block. For example, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. If you want to have like a repetitive data, 10 like in a sequence fashion or sequence order, we require for loop. You can use for loop for iterative specific number of times using the range function. If you want to like a particular range 0 and 1, 0, comma 1, you can put like a 0, comma 1,000. It range will function here. You can range is a inbuilt function in the Python programming. We'll discuss the importance of range in the time of whenever we are discussing about function. So that is the significance of for loop and the importance. Okay. You can see some examples. So iterating through a list. So we have a list. This is a list. If you want to like print the list, you can use the for loop. Also, you can see like a printing of number from 0 to 4. There are 5 numbers starting from 0. Then you can use the for loop. I will show you. Another example is you have to define the range. Then you need to print like you can see up to 10. So I need to add the number like a 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 like this. You can use this code to generate the number. There are 5 numbers. The range is specified over here. Then the sequence will be in this fashion. So if you want to have like such kind of sequence, it is better to go for loop. Now I'm going to show you such kind of examples in software, in the interpreter. So let me take you. First of all, let me prepare the list and I'll be using the for loop, correct? So here you can see the result. Result will be printed in a sequence order. So let me run the program. Yes, you can see the results are printed in a sequence order. Let me see another example. Like I would like to print the number from 0 to 4. So, there are a range you have to define using the for loop. Then let's print the result. Yes, you can see like number, as you can observe, the number has been printed here. This is the fashion. If you use the range like 5 I have mentioned, here I have used the for loop, then the result will be printed in this order. So next is a while loop. Actually, a for loop, if you want to use like a iterative information, sequential data, if I want to present the data in a sequential order, I need to go for loop. Then why while loop is required? See, a while loop is repeatedly execute a block of code as long as the specific condition is true. You can, whenever you are writing like while loop, you can use the syntax like while true. Okay, like that. Okay, you can. In this fashion, you can make out. So you need to be very careful whenever using while loop to confirm that the condition eventually become false to prevent the infinite loop. There should be like a true false condition. Otherwise, loop will be repeated continuously. You never get any output. It repeatedly execute, but you never get output. General, you will need some mechanism to control the while loop. So for that purpose, we require the statement called break, and sometimes we will be using continue, break and continue statement. These are the loop control statement that we'll discuss in the coming session. What are the loop control statement? Okay, in while loop especially, we need to use break and continue statement. Okay, that is the significance. So moving further, we need to have some more details about while loop, and the application also we have to find out. There is a simple flowchart which depicts the functioning of while loop. Let's start the program. Let's see a variable called spam. It's a string f spam. Suppose if the spam is less than 5, if the span is less than 5, print hello world. Later, there is an increment. Spam is equal to spam plus 1 until we need to have up to 5, less than 5. So there is a closed path. You can see the closed path. Once it crosses this limit, there is a condition become wrong or false, and it will exit. Correct. Otherwise, what will happen? The program will be keep on executing inside the loop. But you defined already one range. There no issues. It will like the spam plus 1, spam plus 2, like that up to 5. Okay. So less than 5. Here less than is an operator. Correct. Yes. You already studied about the operator. Okay, that is a basic functioning of while loop. In the examination, if you get a question like explain while loop with the example, you can mention the flowchart. It is a simple flowchart only. So there are different examples for your better understanding. So now let's see first example. Like number 1, you define a variable num is equal to 1. Starting from 1 only. It will be typing from starting from 1 up to 5. Okay. So here we are using an operator. Num plus 1 equal to 1. Increment the counter. Okay. Just like a counting. Okay. Counter machine. Now we can see like another example. This is another example. Okay. Here the initially we are initializing the variable count is equal to 1. Correct. Next while loop has condition. What is the condition? It should be count less than or is equal to 5, which means it will keep on running as long as the count is less than or is equal to 5. Correct. The next importance of next line is while count less than or is equal to 5. Inside the loop, we print the value of count and increment it by 1 by using the operator plus equal to 1. So the main function of that plus equal to 1 is increment for the counter. Then you'll be getting the result as count is equal to 1, count is equal to 2. Why? Because you already mentioned like count is, okay, count is. That is why you'll be getting the result in this fashion. Okay, this is another example. Okay. So now we already discussed the significance of while loop. There is another example. So printing the hello world 5 times. This you can work out. Okay. Now I'll be showing you the program. So let me directly move on to the programming part. So now we'll see how the result will be obtained. Now I just wanted to run this program. Yes, of course. So you can, this is a result. Count is equal to 1 up to 5. We already defined here. Look at this. Okay, this is the way how while loop is going to operate. Okay. So in this video, I just discussed about the significance of loop. What is loop? Is a part of flow control. And there are two types of loop which are popularly used in Python. One is for loop and while loop. Also, in the coming session, we are going to discuss how to control the loop. What are the loop control statements? Let me know if you have any queries. Try to work out similar kind of program. Surely you can understand the concept. Thank you for watching this video. Happy learning.